Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be working on my first fall DIY for 2022, and we're going to be upcycling some wreaths that I got on sale or on clearance for fall. I picked this wreath up from Dollar Tree. It was one of their $5 wreaths, and they marked them down to $1.25. So I'm just going to, I guess, sort of update it, or like I say, upcycle it with some fall picks that I picked up last year from a good old Dollar Tree. And I didn't use them, and I wanted to go with the blue theme because that seems to be a popular color for fall this year, the dark sort of navy blue, I guess it is, and some of the neutral, I guess, cream colors to kind of ground it, I guess. But anyway, here I am just adding some picks to the already existing wreath. It was from their nautical, I think, collection. During the spring and summer, it had the starfish, as you can see, and some blue flowers and, you know, other greenery and stuff on there. So just by adding some of the blue and neutral colored picks from fall, it just sort of brings it into the fall season. Now they do have these picks this year. I did see some in a couple of my stores. This floral arrangement here came from floral pick, should I say, came from Dollar Tree as well. They have these two. These are hydrangeas. So yeah, I'm just clipping them apart and just kind of, you know, randomly adding them into the wreath. I'm not using a whole lot of hot glue. I'm just sticking them in because using grapevine wreaths, you could actually do that. The vines themselves kind of hold the stems in place so they don't go anywhere. I did use the hot glue to kind of secure some of the petals from the leaves or the hydrangea bushes or picks, whatever you want to call them, because they tend to come off. That's the only, I guess, bad thing about Dollar Tree florals, or some of them, is that the petals kind of fall off of the stems when it comes down to certain, you know, flowers like these hydrangeas. But yeah, they blend nicely with the colors that were already existing on the wreath, and I really love how this one turned out. Here I'm adding some of the berries that came off one of the picks that they had, and just, you know, sticking them here and there. Now, I'm not a blue person. I don't decorate with a lot of blue. I have blue in the house, but I'm not a real blue person. But this I loved. I'm going to put it in my resale booth, but I really considered keeping it. And the only reason I didn't is because it's a 12-inch wreath, I think. It's not a 14, and I kind of need something that's a little bit larger. So I just decided not to use it, should I say, and put it in my resale booth. Okay, so these, again, are some of the neutral picks that Dollar Tree carries, and these are really, really nice. I like these. They mimic or favor some of the picks that you can get at like Hobby Lobby and Michael's. So every time I see these, I kind of grab a couple because I always have a reason or can find a need to use them, if you will. But yeah, I love those picks. And here I'm just adding a random little stick that sort of fell off the wreath as a stem to make the pumpkins look more realistic. And that's a tip. You can do that. Remove the little plasticky pumpkin stems that they come with, or if they don't have a stem, you can always add one. So like you see those little pieces that fall off the wreath here in the video, I just kind of used them to stick into the pumpkins. They're foam, so it's not hard. And I secured them with a little hot glue. And another tip, the fuller the better. Any kind of wreath that you do, they look a whole lot better, more high end if you're using cheaper materials, if you make them full. If they're kind of sparse, they look cheap. I mean, you can tell that by just going to Dollar Tree and picking up some of their floral bushes and stems and things. They look cheapy because there's not a whole lot on them. You have to get a bunch to make them look fuller and, like I said, more high end. So the fuller the better. But again, you're only paying $1.25, so you get what you paid for. But Dollar Tree's like stepping up their game, honey, since they went up to $1.25. They're getting in some really nice stuff, so I'm not mad at them. But yeah. So now I'm going to add a bow. Now this came from their plus section, and this ribbon was $3. And the only thing I wasn't liking, it wasn't wire, but I'm not complaining because it's the perfect color and it's velvet ribbon. It's not real velvet. Now what I didn't like about it was the way that little piece right there started. They just added it and you could see the seam. So I just cut that part off and I'll use it in another project. But yeah, they just kind of, I guess to get the yardage, they added that little seam there or whatever. But anyway, we moved on. So I'm just making a regular bow, a shoestring bow, I guess, if you want to call it that. And I think the simpler the better for this one. You don't have to add a bow, but I just thought the color was perfect for this wreath. I had if you can see it right there next to my elbow, I had the wire velvet ribbon that they have in the dollar section, but the shade of blue was just not working for me. But this sort of gray blue, I guess it is, I don't know, works well with those leaves that I added to the wreath, and I love how it looks. So here I'm adding a zip tie to adhere it to the wreath. You could use a pipe cleaner or, a bag tie from like a recycled, bag tie from some bread or something. But I just had those on hand and I was too lazy to get up to go get a pipe cleaner or chenille stem, as the bushy people call it. But yeah, so it worked out really good. And here I'm just fluffing, and then I'm gonna dovetail the ends. And I have a little helper. You can't see her off screen. On the screen. My grandbaby was there with me while I was making this wreath. And boy, she was running me nuts. But I managed to get it done. And here it is. It is so pretty. I love how this looks. But again, I'm not a blue person. So here are two wreaths that I got from Dollar General for $1.25. It's from their spring collection. They were on sale. And I'm just going to upcycle them. So I'm going to cut off these little metal, I guess, olive branches or olive leaves or whatever they're called. I think that's what they're supposed to be. And I'm going to keep the Home Sweet Home portion of it. Again, I'm not a fan of these types of wreaths, the metal wreaths or the, what are they called? Child, if I wasn't trying to think about it, it'd come to me. But the, whatever they're called. I don't like these types of wreaths because, to me, they're not really wreaths. They're just like door hangers or something like that. But we're going to add some floral stems that I had, again, left over. And y'all can see me over there struggling with grandbaby, honey. She just wanted to be moving and fidgeting, but that's what grandbabies do. But anyway, I'm making like a sort of floral bunch or arrangement to kind of see how I wanted it to go and how it works with the color of the wood on this sign, this little metal, because I'll call it a sign. But yeah, and it's looking pretty good, but then I felt like it needed some more greenery, so I'm going in my little stash box back there and pulling out some more floral picks that I've collected over the years. And again, I think these came from Dollar Tree, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, And I'm just gonna, separate them with some wire cutters so I could work with them a little bit better. And I'm just kind of blending them in. And what I'm going to do is attach them all together, again, using a zip tie. And I find that the zip tie works well with these metal ring wreath signs, or whatever you want to call them. They don't slip as much. And if you want to secure it, of course, you could, use a little dab of hot glue. But yeah, I find the zip ties work best. Trying to glue it'll be a mess. And then the glue's not going to stay because it'll peel right off that metal. Unless you use like one of those industrial glues like E6000 or something like that. I don't even know if E6000 is industrial, but strong glues. And then with that, it's going to take a while for it to dry, and then it gets messy, and then the smell. I can't stand the smell. I use E6000, but the smell drives me nuts. I know they have an unscented version, I want to say now or something, but again, zip ties will work best for this. And I'm fussing at grandbaby. Because she was just in everything. It's so much for her to see out here. We're in the she shed. And so she was just into everything. She was actually playing with the pool noodles. I was going to make a pool noodle wreath. So she was over there playing with the pool noodles. But yeah. So here we go. So I'm trying to find the right placement and kind of see how everything's going to look before I permanently attach. And so I'm liking it. So I cut off the excess, and now I'm going to add it to the wreath. I'm doing a little zhuzhing and fluffing. But this is a great way to upcycle stuff from different seasons. I just happened to go in Dollar General for some batteries and came across this clearance. So yeah, I picked up a couple, and I knew that I could actually do something, to make them look better. So I grabbed a couple. Here I'm adding some of the Dollar Tree lace ribbon. I have a bunch of it. It's just so pretty, and I have so much of it and have not used it, and I was really glad to be able to incorporate it into this project. And I love the little touch that it adds to the wreath. I have plenty of ribbon that I've hoarded over the years, and it's just sitting there gathering dust pretty much. So I was glad, y'all, to go through my stash and kind of find things that I could use without going out spending a whole lot buying new. And do that, if you're like me, you're a craft supply hoarder, and just shop your stash. It's just like shopping in the store, honey, because I'm pretty sure if you're like me, you have stuff you forgot you had. But here it is, all attached and pretty looking. And here's another one, the other one that I did, and I just added 3 floral picks to it, and I love how they turned out. So thanks guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video.